Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday. It is the 6th of April, 2021. I hope you're all healthy, COVID free, that you're recovering from any sickness you may have, and that all your needs are being provided for. Blessings on those that are trying to help people get healed from disease and sickness and accidents and mishaps. Those that are working many hours to save life, to comfort people that are older, people that are sick and dying, and trying to help those save life, even sometimes at the risk of their own. Blessings also to those who pick up garbage to make our places clean, and to those who make deliveries for us, all types of weather, all types of times of year and days and nights for our convenience. Also, blessings on those seeking to deliver boys and girls, oftentimes babies, teenagers, even men and women from sex slave operations, and curses on those that support that industry. Finally, blessings on those that are helping the homeless, 500,000 in the United States alone, millions around the world. Even now, it's getting worse. Blessings to those helping and those that are homeless. May this situation end soon. So there was a basketball game last night, and today is bittersweet. Knicks lost the game, but it's not just any other game. It was against the Nets. Can't stand the Nets. It was a close game, just like the last one we played them. A 2-point game. Again, the third quarter ruined us. The Nets outscored us by 11 in the third quarter. I don't know what it is about the Knicks in the third quarter. I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden in the third quarter, as a team, it's not just one guy. As a team, they just, they just allow teams to come back in the third quarter. Perhaps that's like the last vestiges of a bad team. Maybe they're going to come back next year and put a stop to this. But at this point, the third quarters, for the most part this season, have been our Achilles heel. Kyrie Irving had 40, and he needed all 40 for us to lose that game last night. The Knicks, and then again, another thing, and then this is also a sign, of course, that the Knicks are on the verge of becoming a really good team. They're just on that verge. This is the first year to rebuild. But it was, sometimes it's a missed assignment on defense. Sometimes it's a missed shot. Sometimes it's a blown call by a ref. And we've had all of those this season. But last night, it was one particular possession, really. It came down to in the fourth quarter. The Knicks, in the fourth quarter, understanding that Kyrie Irving was really the only offense that they had. I mean, they lost James Harden early because of the hamstring injury. They did not have Kevin Durant. They did not have DeAndre Jordan. And so Kyrie was basically, he's put up 28 shots last night. So he was going to be shooting the ball. So in the fourth quarter, I remember we were doing a live stream last night, and I was saying, got to double him. Got to get the ball out of his hands. Let somebody else try to beat you. And for the most part, the Knicks were doing that. They were getting the ball out of his hands. And then when doing that, they were getting turnovers. They were getting one-shot possessions, right? But on one particular possession, the Knicks, I think we were up one. I think that was the winning shot. We were up one. And for some reason, generally speaking, they would have, at the end of the game, they had Bullock guarding him, which was a good move. And then you would have either RJ or Julius double him and make him give up the rock. But for some reason, Julius, and I don't know who was on the other side of him, they did not double him. And on that possession, he hit a three. Okay. And that was it. And so if he doesn't hit that shot, we win the game. All right. But you have to double him every time down. They missed one time, and that was the game. See? And so that's where we're at this stage. Aside from the third quarters, it's generally, if in a close game like this, it comes down to a particular, like I said, a particular play, a ref call, something, or non-call, as it were. But that was the play. It was fourth quarter. We needed a stop. We had been getting them generally, except for the third quarter when we needed them. But He hit the three, and that was it. That was the game. Julius missed, a last second shot, but with 3 seconds left. Statistically speaking, just in general, in any game, any basketball game, most of those shots do not go in. It's really very rare that somebody actually hits that last second shot. So I'm not blaming Julius for that. That's just the way it is. You want to win the game so that you don't need a last second shot. And we could have done that on that one possession if we had stopped, if he had doubled Kyrie Irving at that possession. Again, another theme for this year that we're looking to improve. Again, the Knicks did not play 48 minutes of good basketball. And of course, today, I'd say they played a good 30 minutes, because, the first 2 quarters were excellent. They played very good the first 2 quarters, the Knicks did. They went into halftime with a 10-point lead. They would do, and of course, Brooklyn gave up 67 points in the half, so, we started off good, but then, of course, the third quarter, Brooklyn really outplayed us in the third quarter. We let them. And then in the fourth, it was a dog fight all the way through the fourth. And that one 3-pointer by Kyrie Irving was the difference maker. Now, aside from that, what also bothered me about the game is they out-rebounded us, which I don't like. I don't like to get out-rebounded by a team. I mean, I'm not saying the Nets are a terrible rebounding team, but the Knicks are a really good rebounding team. And we don't want to get out-rebounded by anybody, right? That's a bad sign for us when we're getting out-rebounded. And you can see, like last night, for example, the Knicks hit 48% of their threes. 48%. Now, generally, you hit 48%, and the Nets hit 31% of their threes. Generally, you hit 48% of your three-pointers, and they put up 29 three-pointers. You're going to win that game, right, in the NBA. But the 50-50 balls, we were not getting the 50-50 balls, and that again bore itself out on offensive rebounds. They beat us on the offensive glass, 11 rebounds to 5. That's 6 extra possessions they got, from the offensive glass. That's 6 extra possessions they got. That's that. So we got to do a better job on the offensive glass. We have to do a better job on the offensive glass. And again, this is where, we have Taj Gibson and Nerlens Noel. They do all right. I mean, they're all right, but Mitchell Robinson really would help in this area. And actually, I believe if Obi was getting a little bit more time at the 4, he might help as well. But this is where you get a bruiser at your 4th spot. I'm not saying Julius Randle obviously is playing all-star level, but I'm saying you get a bruiser somewhere in there that can help you in that area, but right now we don't have that. But anyway, Julius, statistically, he showed out triple-double, 19 points, 12 assists, 15 rebounds. He played a good game. He really did. He played a good game. He had 5 turnovers. And again, the turnovers are bad, but it's the timing of the turnovers that are worse. Like I said, you could get a guy that the other night, Burks had 1 turnover, but that 1 turnover was in the fourth quarter when we needed a basket, right? So it's also the timing of the turnover. RJ scored 22. I didn't see how, I wasn't listening to the game. I was live streaming. So I did not, from watching it didn't look like he scored 22. He did hit 4 threes. He was hitting his 3 at a pretty good clip. You did see that. And he was hitting his foul shots at a good clip, but I just didn't know it was 22. But, and then of course, the Knicks only had 4 players in double figures: D Rose, Randall, Bullock, and Barrett. We need a 5th player to get us double figures. Again, and again, I'm not trying to kill Peyton. I mean, maybe I am, but I'm not saying Peyton doesn't belong in the NBA. He does. But he is not a starting caliber point guard. He just is not a starting caliber point guard. His defense in this particular game was good. I mean, the Knicks played pretty good defense. They gave 114 points, which is a little too much, right? But and he guarding Kyrie Irving. That's never going to be easy. But 4 of 10 from the field, 8 points. I mean, he didn't commit a turnover, but he also only had 1 assist. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think all of us in Knicks Nation understand that we do need a point guard. We need a point guard. And I'm not talking about, I mean, with the exception of Cade Cunningham or Jalen Suggs. Even the kid on Baylor is pretty good, but I wouldn't. See, this is where NCAA tournament can fool your eyes for a second. Some people will look at that Baylor Gonzaga game and say, see, that kid on Baylor is way better than Suggs. No, he's not. No, he's not. So, except for those two players, anybody you draft at the point guard position, he's not going to help us next year. Right. He's going to be like Quickly is. He's going to help us, but he's not going to bring us to the next level. No, we need a guy that's prepared to push us to the next level. And again, we're talking about Alonzo Ball. We're talking about Kyle Lowry. We're talking about Dennis Schroeder. We're talking about guys like that that are able, right now, next year, get us 5 more wins. That's what I'm talking about. And so those guys are all available. Let's see what we can come up with. The long-term solution to me is Lonzo Ball. I mean, Kyle Lowry is maybe a 1-year solution, but we need a long-term solution to this point guard situation. And I'm thinking, we gotta try to get Ball. Now, if we get a Kyle Lowry or we get a Dennis Schroeder, they're going to help us next year. Schroeder is 27. I think he'll be 20. So he's in his prime, but, I don't know. I mean, and he's a big time player. He has played in many playoff games, big time pressure situations. The guy's used to that. He's never won a chip, but he's always, come up big time in those situations because he's never been the man, on his team. Nor should he be. But he was on that 60-win Atlanta team that Jeff Teague started. He came off the bench for that team. He was on the team with OKC last year with Chris Paul that pushed into the semifinals. I mean, he's a piece that you want, that's a playoff piece. And so, but I don't think we're going to get a point guard that's going to be the man, not this summer. In fact, none of those guys are available, right? None of those type of guys are available right now. So we do need a point guard though. We need to upgrade. And right now, our best point guard is Derrick Rose. Now, last night he played 25 minutes and Peyton played 22 minutes. But I think we can all also agree it's not necessarily who starts, but who finishes. That's true. But oftentimes who starts sets the tone, right? And though we did have 2 good quarters, the beginning, the third quarter, that was no good at all. So we got to get us a point guard. Alec Burks, he hit a big 3 in the fourth quarter. He did. He hit a big 3, but overall he only scored 6 points, played 20 minutes. Quickly, he's a rookie, and last night was his disappearing act. Rookies do that, So last night we didn't hardly know Quickly was even playing. Played 13 minutes, scored 3 points, 1 of 4 from the field. He wasn't any type of difference maker last night. And again, that's because he is a rookie. He's gonna get that from him. But Bullock played very well. Randall played very well. I like the way Noel played. I like the way Taj played. Those guys played good. The refs stunk up the joint last night. They were calling some stupid fouls on Noel, and they were letting the Nets get away with some dumb fouls. So, and I'm glad Tom Thibodeau challenged one of those calls. There was a clean block. I think it was. I'm not sure. I think it was Taj blocked somebody. It was clean. And they called a foul on it, and we successfully won the challenge. They're talking about, I read yesterday where the Board of Governors are talking about awarding a coach another timeout when he successfully wins a challenge. And so that would make sense. Why should you lose a timeout if the ref made a bad call, right? So that would be an improvement. So hopefully they do that. All right. So, yeah, and of course we had Pell, Knox, Harper, Ntilikina, Pinson. Nobody played. He did Tom did what he normally does. Last night he actually played 10 guys. He played 10 guys. Obi got only 9 minutes. I think that's what you're going to see the rest of this year. This summer, and hopefully, well, the season, I'm not sure when the season is going to end. If it's going to end in August. So let's say September and October, you get Toppin some more work, with that coaching staff, and he comes back next year. I think he should be getting more minutes. Like I said, I don't expect Burks to be back. I think he's the odd man out. You're not going to be able to keep all of these guys that's on 1 year deals because they're going to want longer term deals, and I don't want to pay all of them longer term deals. You're probably going to keep a Bullock because Tom Thibodeau likes him. He plays defense, and I see him as a championship bench piece. But you're not going to keep Peyton. I don't think you're going to keep Burks. You're probably going to keep Rose, because that's another Tom Thibodeau favorite. You're going to keep Rose. You're going to keep Gibson. You're going to sign them. Both of them going. I mean, Gibson probably gets a 1 year deal. Rose probably gets a 2 year deal. I'm not sure what they'll do with Bullock. I would give him a 3 year deal, but the last 2 years are team options, right? I'm not sure what they're going to do with Noah because Noah's going to be looking to get paid. How much he gets paid, I don't know, but we are going to pay Mitch. We need to pay Mitch this summer, and I'm looking at 4 year, $48 million for Mitch. I think that's the right number for him. I think he'll take that and I'll lock him up for 4 years. Um, uh, Quickly, we don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about Barrett. These guys are already locked in. You got to worry about. You don't have to deal with Randall right now because we got him for another year, 20. Um, so Knox is set. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Frank. I don't understand. Even I read Mark Berman said he was perplexed as to why they didn't trade Frank if they weren't going to use Frank. And I understand that. And if you look at, I went on, what's the name of this site? I went on this site that basically it showed all of I was able to look at Tom Thibodeau's entire coaching career. It's basketballreference.com. I was able to look at Tom Thibodeau's entire coaching career. And it's not like, this is not unusual for him. There'll be years like if he's not sure about a guy that he's going to play, a guy very sparingly and then come back the next year and give him more minutes. Tom really doesn't, he really does, even though he's always looking to win, he does keep players around that he eventually plans on playing. So it could be that they got future plans for Frank, or maybe they're going to include him in a package this summer, or maybe they just work with him and then all of a sudden next year he starts getting more minutes. I don't know. But, like when Tom first took over the Bulls, you had guys that weren't playing. You had, let's see, James Johnson, who later signed a big contract, Omar Asic, C.J. Watson. They weren't playing a lot. And then he was playing vets. Yeah, Carlos Boozer, Kurt Thomas. Of course, D. Rose, who at that time was in his third year. Joakim Noah, Luol Deng, one of his favorites. That's how he generally would do stuff. So it's not unusual, especially he doesn't play rookies and he doesn't play young players. And even though Frank and Knox are not rookies, they're treated like rookies this year. So, we'll see what happens, man. And then, of course, when Jimmy Butler came in, he came in 2011, he only played 8 minutes a game. He played 8 minutes a game. He only appeared in 42 games out of a possible 82 games. He appeared in 42 games. He only played 8 minutes a game, right? He was 22 years old. So, that's how Tibbs does things. I mean, that's just how he does things. So I wouldn't be surprised if these guys are back next year and they're getting more minutes as time goes on. I mean, Frank, Knox, and Obi, as they get used to the Thibodeau system. And, they'll play more. So that's how he does things, man. That's just how he does it. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, at this point of the season, it is what it is, and you're going to get what you get. Unless people get hurt, you're not going to see these guys play a lot. Now, last night, I felt like they could have used Frank against Kyrie Irving. He D's up Irving better than Peyton, period. He just D's up Irving better than Peyton does. Frank puts the clamps on that kid better than anybody. As much as you can put clamps on Irving, Irving is, unguardable, but it is what it is. Like I said, they're not going to start playing these guys now unless it's a blowout win, or somebody's hurt. You're not going to see them. So, yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. As I said, next game is Boston. Boston, let's see, what did they do yesterday? Boston is 25-25. That part I know. And Boston didn't play yesterday. Boston has a game today against Philly. Yes, Boston plays Philly today. And blessings to Philly. If I'm going to bless them, this is the day to do it. I want them to beat Boston. They're playing Philly in Boston today. Boston is 25-25. And we are 25-26. If we can beat Boston tomorrow, which would be on the second night of a back-to-back for them, we'd be 26-26, and they would be 25-27, assuming they lose tonight to Philly. That would help us with them. Okay, Atlanta plays New Orleans. That's a toss-up. Could go either way. Atlanta plays New Orleans tonight. Miami plays Memphis tonight. I'm rooting for Memphis. Rooting for Memphis because Miami's 26-24. Rooting for Memphis. And so, yeah, there's that too. So, like I said, I told you all the other day, I think it was yesterday, it's an important week for our rivals as well as us. So we didn't start off the week too good here, losing a tight one to the Brooklyn Nets. Can't stand the Nets. But anyway, we got a game against Boston tomorrow. So let's hope we can regroup and let's try to play 48 minutes of good basketball. That's the goal right here. Can we play 48 minutes of good basketball? Can we get through the third quarter and play decent basketball? That's the questions with the New York Knicks. I'm sure the players are very well aware, as we're all aware. So let's hope they can accomplish that, as RJ said, correct our errors and get ready for the next game. Have a good day, good Tuesday. Blessings to you all. Shalom.